Good morning. Just woke up. I have my headphones off. um, just wanted to give a quick account of the OBEs that I had. There were two. This one was definitely different. I can most definitely tell when it's an OBE versus lucid dream, and I guess I'll just talk about that at another time. Um, Excuse me. Um, it's about 5:30, and I know I need to get up, but I didn't want to not talk about this. So I got up like around between 1:30 or so. I set my clock for 2:30, but because I woke up earlier, I just turned the clock off and decided to start the meditation around that time, or 1:15 or so. Uh, I ended up coming out of my body twice last night because, well, I had the time after the first one, but I had my headphones on with, again, playing the Gateway, um, Monroe Institute's, I believe it was Wave 3. At this point, though, I kind of just listened to Wave 3 without necessarily paying too much attention to what he's saying because it's really, I'm there just for the binaural beats, if you know what I mean. So, anyways, I'm listening to Wave 3. The next thing I realize is that I'm rolling out of my body and rolling without help, or uh, without intent, if I will. Um, I believe I was helped. Before I was actually in that paralysis state, I decided to just ask for help. Like, I need somebody to help me to come out my body because I was tired of my legs flying up, me floating and not being able to move. And, it was just this and that and the third. It's just a whole lot to try to figure out. I'm trying to come out and can't. It's just a bunch of stuff. So I basically set a bit of an intention, and just while I was meditating, doing the whole Focus 12, and while I was doing that, I just said I need to create some helpers. Anyways, I roll out. I walk, stand up, and finally I walk out of my room. Um, I pretty much everything looked very similar or somewhat the same. But the main thing was I did not want to get sucked back into my body, so I hurried up and left out of my room. And I walked outside, and it was like all of the grass and trees, all of that was just like this vibrant green color. I noticed there was a little girl with a ball. She was just throwing a ball up and down. Some other, I think she looked Asian, um, but I don't know. Uh, I noticed that I was able to, I was walking down the stairs, but I thought to myself, I wonder if I can fly. And then I actually started to lift off the ground and fly. It was pretty cool. It did not look exactly like where I live. As a matter of fact, it looked more like a neighborhood, but I noticed that it was, during my OBEs, while my headphones are on, I can still hear Robert talking, but I'm not sucked back into my body or anything, and I don't lose the picture. You feel me? Because the pictures, it's real. When sometimes when I'm lucid dreaming, actually all of the time when I lucid dream, the moment Robert Monroe talks, I lose the picture completely, except for one time. But anyways, so eventually I get pulled back into my body. I don't remember why. It just I just did. Um, so I decided to try again. Now, the second out of body experience was a little different. I didn't roll, I kind of just slid out. It took about another 30 minutes to get back into that state, but I did. I slid out. I did not feel like I was helped at all. As a matter of fact, I felt like I had some kind of cloth like material that was covering me, so I had to hurry up and just cast that aside. I look around my room. I mean, and it looked the same for the most part. And then I walked into my hallway. This is where things got a little weird for me, downright scary for me. Um, I know that we shouldn't be scared and all of that, so I tried my best to not, panic or anything. But I saw these two beings. I believe I may have created them. They had black robes, um, gray in color. I could not make out the face. However, I was given flashes of what they looked like um, before I even had this experience because I believe I was helped out of my body a couple of times. But it was two of them, and I walked into the hallway. They walked into my house, and it was almost as if they were on a mission to find something or to do something. Um, but again, after thinking back, I believe I may have created them to try to help me out. But I was already out at that point. They came into my room. Well, one of them did. I tried to tell them to stop, but they just ignored me essentially. And so I'm just like, okay, well, they moved around. I'm like, fine. So I walked back out of the house. One of them, I grabbed the robe, at least to some degree, but it, I couldn't really grab it like talking about it. But I certainly did try to. Anyway, so I walked out, same scenery, picture, vibrant colors. People were just outside, walking around and things like that. But again, I did feel quite a bit of fear because, I mean, you get somebody that looks like a 5 foot tall Grim Reaper just gliding into your house. It just kind of looks, you feel me? So, but I do understand I have to kind of get used to that kind of stuff. I just wanted to document this. Ugh, man, my eyes are watering somewhat. But anyways, that was pretty much my experience from last night. Um, I had a couple of lucid dreams too that I I I mean I don't want this to run too long because I know how y'all do. Y'all don't really like long videos. And if I ramble, and shop is closed. So um, y'all, just those of you that are interested in this kind of stuff, please, by all means, consider a subscription. Um, and I will be back. I'll try my best to do more raw footage of myself just right after because it feels better to me than trying to come on here and explain what I thought, what I've seen after the fact, like a while after. Okay, so I'll try my best to do more of this because it just for me it's a lot better. But although y'all get to see my mug, my morning mug. You guys have yourselves a great rest of your day, and um, no fear. The more I do it, I know I won't be scared. But it was a little frightening. I'll be honest. Yeah, it is what it is. Until next time.